Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. Lil Brunson back at you with the back at you, and I'm the best reporting on the Eagles. Before we get into the meat and potatoes, I gotta let you know that this video was brought to you by Print Champs, the big Print Champs in the building, bringing you everything you need as far as merchandise goes. Make sure you tap in, use the code BULLY10 at checkout, get all your needs, hurt season hats, graphic tees, you know what I mean? Great work by in-house designer Jesse Wines. Make sure you tap in with that. Let's get into the meat and potatoes. Oh, the music is done. It's like just about done. It's coming soon. I might just want to drop something, man, just to let y'all know how I'm coming. But I'm going to give y'all the full body of work, man. So I'm going to wait until all the T's crossed, I's dotted. You know what I mean? But let's get into it, though. The top 10 best offensive tackles in the NFL, ranked by executives, players, and coaches and scouts. Via Jay Fowler at ESPN. This article comes from the Bro Bible. You know what I mean? I'll be tapping in with the Bro Bible. They be having some interesting stuff for the fellas, man. You know what I mean? But let's go down the list first. Now, this is tackles. Now, first I was appalled because when you start naming offensive linemen in general and don't name Kelsey, I'm like, whoa, where's Kelsey? But it's tackles. It's tackles. It's tackles. Number one, they got 49ers Trent Williams. Not really a surprise there. You know what I mean? I'll get about what I think about that. Number two, Laramie Tunsil, Texas. Buccaneers, Tristan Wirth, number 3. Eagles, Lane Johnson, number 4. Eagles, Jordan Mailata, number 5. Penny Sewell, number 6. Andrew Thomas, 7. Rashawn Slater, 8. Christian Darsaw, 9. And Colton Miller for the Raiders at 10. Honorable mentions, Ryan Ramczyk, Taron Armstead for the Dolphins. David Bakhtiari, Packers. Brian O'Neill, Cowboys. Tyron Smith. I'm not really mad at the list. I don't really think that Lane Johnson was mad at the list. This is the only thing that I have, logically to say about this list. We always talk about Lane Johnson being the only player in the league not to allow a sack in over 2 years. How could he not be one? You see what I'm saying? How could he not be one? And who are these executives, players, coaches, and scouts? Who are these guys? And are they truly giving guys a fair shake? Because, the thing with Trent Williams to me is that sometimes you get into that mode of wanting to name a guy the GOAT and not really looking at everybody else, because it's just unheard of to go against the guy who has been number one in that position for a long time. I think Lane Johnson is better than Laramie Tunsil and Tristan Wirth for sure. You know what I mean? Trent Williams, I guess, that could be the one that could be debated. But again, what can you really say about a guy who has not allowed a sack in over 2 years? Congratulations on Jordan Mailata making the list. Speaks volumes into what Stoutland University is and what Stoutland University can be. But it was more about the comments and what they had to say about Lane Johnson. It lets me believe that these scouts, executives, and players got a little hate in their blood. Premier Player said this. An AFC scout told Fowler, incredibly gifted athlete with force. This was somebody in the AFC said about Lane Johnson. Fowler then wrote, but one NFC exec believes Johnson is overhyped and plays in a run-pass option offense that helps him limit sacks. The NFC executive added he gets a lot of credit for being noisy and playing on a good team. This is the problem that I have with the evaluation of the recent success of the Philadelphia Eagles as of late. Everybody contributes it to the team, but Lane Johnson is a part of the team. Lane Johnson is a part of the upper echelon members of this team. You know what I mean? Lane Johnson does his job by himself. Coming off the edge and guarding Bosa and guarding Micah Parsons, Lane Johnson has to do those things on his own for the most part. So he's just a part of a good team. That don't make sense. We count on Lane Johnson, our guy against your guy. We don't have to really use extra resources, you know what I mean, when Lane Johnson is on the field. Lane Johnson does this at a high level. Hurt, healthy, Lane Johnson just balls. You know what I mean? And it's starting to seem like these executives and coaches and players are of a specific team that been bickering with us all off season. You know what I mean? He gets a lot of credit for being noisy. You know what I mean? But Lane, low clap back from Lane. You know what I mean? Lane put noisy in parentheses, clown at the end of it. So I don't think Lane having it, you know what I mean? I think it's weird. I think it's whack that, you just can't say a guy is good anymore. It was credit for playing on a good team. They're saying the same thing about all of the Eagles. They saying the same thing. But 2 years in a row, the team wasn't good last year. Lane was still doing his job. Make it make sense. Then Jordan Mailata chipped in. Lane Johnson, let's run this shit back. That's what I'm talking about, bro. These guys ready to cook. These guys ready to eat. And these guys are taking everything and using it as bulletin board material. A team that's hearing the disrespect, a team that just went to the Super Bowl, and a team that just had the draft that the Philadelphia Eagles had, you know what I mean, the offseason in general. I feel like that, you know, the sky is the limit, you know, we'll start there. And I also feel like it's a strong possibility of at least getting back to the NFC Championship game. It's a strong possibility of at least playing championship football again. So I'm not mad about the list. I don't think Lane is even mad about where he was placed. It's the comments after that. So if he gets a lot of credit for being noisy, why is he fourth on the list? Why is he fourth on the list? You know what I'm saying? He's fourth on the list because some haters ranked him low, and the other haters probably had him top 2, for real, for real. Let's be for real. Lane Johnson is the best right tackle in the National Football League. You want to debate it? Cool. I'm not in the mood to debate that one. I just know these facts to be true. I was thinking a little bit about Olamide Zaccheaus. I'm hoping I'm saying this guy's name right. I looked at some clips of some tape of him, and I really feel like that Quez Watkins is about to be in a fight for his life this camp. Camp is 9 days away. The position or that third wide receiver spot for the Philadelphia Eagles is hanging in the balance on who has the better camp. And I just think that Olamide Zaccheaus has certain traits. Now, we know Quez got the deep ball, the deep routes over him. We know Quez can stretch the field. Not a lot of people can do it like Quez in the National Football League. But I think Olamide gives you a more well-rounded wide receiver who can do things like quick hitch, who can do things like move in motion and get the ball. He can do just a lot of different things that I haven't really seen from Quez. So let's dive into a little bit of this tape and look at some things that are expected from Olamide this upcoming season. You know what I mean? I don't think it's going to be easy for Quez to hold on to this job, man, because I'm looking at the skill set of Olamide, and you know, Quez might end up being the fourth wide receiver, and that's not a bad spot to be on a team that features two guys that just had 1,100 receiving yards, and Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. So let's talk about it, man. I personally have really high hopes for Olamide Zaccheaus. You know what I mean? I can see the way we used him in OTAs, and I can see the way he was used in Atlanta after diving into a few clips of him. And I think there's some similarities there. I think there's a need for a player like this in this offense. The speed out right here, just being able to be available at all times and to, you know, keep the defense guessing when on the field is a strong suit. You know what I mean? Listen, the battle was going to be between him and Quez. You know, the ability to beat press man, I've seen that multiple times on film. You really can't jam him due to his size, as you see on this play. He's at the top right of the screen. He's always available. You know what I mean? From the slot, he uses feet. Doesn't use hands right here. You know what I mean? It's all footwork. Beat his man. Got him actually looking real goofy. If that was a better thrown ball, could have got some yak. But I want to say a little pressure got there and deterred the throw a bit. But your guy is making himself available. The quick hitch. You know, providing an outlet for the quarterback. You know, some of that was missing in the offense. Just these plays that move the chains by guys who are dangerous after the catch. You know, that was missing in the offense last year, if you ask me. But, you know, nevertheless, man, I like what I see out of Olamide. I think that it's going to be a dogfight for this wide receiver 3 position. Let me know what you think in the comments, though.